Welcome to the second Winter Night Surprise video. In this video, you'll learn to create score for your animation. On screen, I'm showing the completed animation, and I've been playing for a while, so I've already scored 8 points. Let's watch as I score 10 points and finish the game. Okay, watch the bottom of the screen. When I score 10 points, the presents flash and the animation ends. So let's learn how to add points and make the animation end properly. You should have already opened your Winter Night Surprise animation. Let's investigate how the pictures at the bottom of the screen work. Please click the No Presents sprite, and then click its Costumes tab. You'll see that the costume consists of 10 presents, and these presents are actually always visible at the bottom of the screen. Let's click the Scripts tab and see how they work. When the game begins, this sprite goes to the front. That makes sure that it's always in front of the houses. And then it sets its ghost effect to 50. Just watch for a moment. You don't have to do what I'm doing right now. But let me explain how ghost effect works. If I set ghost effect to 0 and start the animation, the presents appear at the bottom of the screen in full color. If I change ghost effect to 100 and start the animation, the presents disappear altogether. So 0 means full color and 100 means invisible. If I set ghost effect to 50, the presents appear but they're slightly faded out. And that's how we want the animation to operate. The actual scoring is done by another sprite. Please click the Score sprite, and then click its Costumes tab. When the animation begins, this sprite uses a costume called No Presents. This is actually a blank costume. But when I score 1 point, this sprite changes to Costume 1. And when it does, it lights up 1 present at the bottom of the screen. If I score 2 points, the sprite changes to Costume 2, and 2 presents light up at the bottom of the screen. If I score 3 points, I see Costume 3, and so on until I get to 10 points and Costume 10. Now that you know how scoring works, let's write the scripts to make it happen. Please start by clicking the Present sprite and clicking the Scripts tab. We need to tell this sprite that when it touches the chimney top, it should signal the Score sprite to change its costume. I'll say that again. When this sprite touches a chimney top, it needs to signal the Score sprite to change its costume. To tell the present when it's touching the chimney top, we need to go to Control and drag If Then just beneath change Y by -6. Then go to Sensing. We're going to tell it to sense when it touches the color of the chimney top. Drag Touching Color into your new If Then statement and pick up the color of the chimney top. So what we're doing here is to tell the present to fall by 6 pixels, to change Y by -6, and then check to see if it's touching. And if it's not touching, to continue to fall. But if it is touching, we want it to signal the Score sprite to change its costume. To send that signal, we're going to use a broadcast. Click the Events drawer and drag the broadcast command right inside that new if. We need to create a message just for the Score sprite. So click the down pointing arrow and choose New Message. You can name your message whatever you want. I'm going to say Score Point and click OK. Now that we've sent the message, we need to go to the Score sprite and tell it to receive the message. So click the Score sprite. To tell this sprite to receive a message, we use the command also on the Events drawer called When I Receive. But we need to tell it to receive the Score Point message. So click the down pointing arrow and choose Score Point. When this sprite receives the Score Point message, it's going to change its costume. Let me show you for a minute how things work. Right now, the sprite is using the final costume, called No Presents. When you score the first point, you could tell this sprite to shift to the next costume. And what we'll do is go back around to the beginning and choose costume 1, 1 present. When you score the next point, you could say get the next costume. And then it will choose costume 2, 2 presents. So click the Scripts tab. We need to tell this sprite to go to the next costume when it receives the score point message. To do that, click Looks, and then drag Next Costume beneath score point. Let's try the animation this far and see if it's working. I'm going to hope I score a point here. And it works! All right, we're on our way. I'm going to stop the animation. Please remember that we haven't added sound yet, and we still need to add the flash of the presents when you win. So to add the flash of the presents, we actually have to know when we've reached the winning costume. We need to know when the score is 10. The best way to do that is to create a variable called score that tracks your score. Oops, sorry about that. To create the variable, click the data drawer, click Make a Variable, and let's call it score. For all sprites, click OK. As always, when we create a variable, we must start by deciding whether to show it on screen or not. And actually, we don't want to show this on screen, so we'll uncheck the score variable. And then we must put a number in the variable so that it knows where it's beginning. We're going to set the score to 0 by dragging the Set Score to 0 command beneath a green flag. Now, whenever the score point message is received, we need to increase the score. To do that, we're going to drag Change Score by 1 right beneath this area of the script. We just received a message that we should score a point. Now we need to say that if we've reached 10 points, we win the game. To do that, click Control, drag If Then beneath Change Score By. In here, we're going to tell the animation to detect whether it's reached 10 points. To do that, we go to the Operator menu, drag the equal operator, and drop it into the If command. Then we click the data drawer. The actual score is contained inside this oval. So we put the oval in the first slot. If the score equals, and then we type the number 10, we want to flash the presents and then stop the game. To flash the presents, let's go back to the Costume tab just for a moment. We want to switch between Costume 10 and Costume 11 a couple of times, and then we want to stop the game. Click the Scripts tab. To switch the costumes, we go to the Looks menu, we drag and drop Switch Costume to inside the If, and let's send it to Costume 11. We're going to make it wait for a short period of time before switching back to Costume 10. Go to the Control door, drag and drop Wait 1 second, and change it to 1/10 of a second. Now we need to switch to Costume 10. We go back to Looks, drag and drop another Switch Costume. And we want to do this a couple of times so that the presents flash on and off. You could also use a repeat command. A repeat command in here, but I'll do it the long way. And then we're going to stop the game by going to Control and choosing Stop All. When you finish the scoring part of the animation, you've done most of the work. Here are some challenges that you can do to make your animation even more fun. Add a sound when the present successfully touches the chimney top. Add a different sound if the present misses the chimney. Add levels. Make the airplane fly faster as the level increases. Add obstacles that block the presents from hitting the chimneys. Make the houses scroll or move across the screen so they're harder to hit. You can see the next movie for some hints on how to do that. Add music. Or make an entirely new animation that uses the dropping presents algorithm. But in this new animation, use the algorithm to make lasers shoot from spaceships. Oops, little typo there. Have fun.